So I figured today we could talk about having 3 kids, and so far in our 7 weeks
today
of having 3 kids, talks about the experience a wee bit. So I'll start it off, and I'll just say that from my perspective, having 3 kids is freaking gnarly.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard, but not harder than expected. So like, I think that like the fact that there's no more free time for you.
Right, but how's that change for you?
Well, because then the time that like you would then spend time with the boys, and I would go off and do something, like I'm feeling guilty for leaving you. Once again, you have no free time, and then you're going into more no free time.
Right.
So it's like, I wouldn't say the actual act of having 3 kids is physically more difficult.
Right. Okay.
I'd say it's just more emotionally draining.
Yeah. Well, maybe I had the whole 10 months to deal with that.
Because you felt like that when you were pregnant?
Well, yeah, and also just because the woman's pregnant, I think you have no connection really to the baby.
He's laughing at you.
Until it comes out.
Right.
Whereas I've had this whole time to prepare for it.
Right.
And so I guess I'm kind of used to no free time.
Fair enough.
Because I was pregnant, so all the stuff I like to do, being active and stuff, was kind of hard to do towards the end. And I was just like a walking whale.
But so now it's more of that for you, where it's like you feel like even though he is a little baby, it's still the same as when you had.
It's not the same. No, it's definitely not the same. I definitely feel very tied down to him, and I don't have any free time. But I don't know. I think it's easier to get my head around at this time because this is the 3rd time, and so you kind of expect it. I expected it, because that's kind of what happened with Arrow. A little less extreme, and then, I am kind of wanting to do more stuff now, though, for some reason.
Vomit.
Where did you vomit? Is that funny? Is that funny? On me?
Mwah. Did you just dodge my kiss?
No, I thought you were.
How dare you?
I thought you were going into
That's it.
wipe your face on me.
Here's the deal. After the 3rd baby, dodges all the kisses. The worst. No, I would say that Hi. Hi. He's smiling at me. No, he's laughing at me. So I would say that the first 5 weeks as a father post baby, I think this is just period, and I think maybe longer or shorter depending on certain kids, until you can get a smile, it kind of sucks. In the sense that you get absolutely nothing from the little nugget other than just a connection by blood that you inherently know. But I think as soon as you get a smile, yeah, and then a hi, it just becomes infinitely better. The last week for me has been a lot better because he's been giving me something, And it's selfish.
And he's also gotten a little bit happier.
Yeah, he's also become a little happy. I mean, he had
stomach things have sorted themselves out.
Stomach thing, snortle thing. Yeah, his stomach thing. What was his stomach thing? It was just
I don't really know. Well, he still kind of has it, I think, when he eats too much. But
yeah,
I think the baby's temperament plays a lot to do with how the family dynamic is.
Right.
If the baby's happy and he's well fed and he's sleeping okay, then I feel less stressed, which makes me more relaxed and able to participate in the family better.
Right.
Which makes it easier for you, which makes it easier for the boys that don't feel, but when a baby is a fussy baby and it's hard and they're crying a lot and they don't sleep very well and they don't eat very well, it's hard for everyone.
Right.
So I think he's never been hard, but you know, he had those few weeks where he couldn't figure out his digestive system, and now he's much better. And it's more just like, and now that we have like a schedule, I think it's going to be a little easier. Apart from he is still just attached to me.
Right. I can't really save you on that one.
No.
I think one of the things that I forgot that I think is important for people to know is that you kind of end up with the lack of sleep. Even if you're getting sleep, you're still getting woken up like all the time, even if you get big long stretches of it, and it's just kind of a little bit more restless. And then if the baby's crying or anything like that, it's just a little bit more stressful. But with your other kids, you're kind of at your wit's end already. Whereas when you have, like, if you picture it as like a life bar in a video game, like when you just have the two kids, like you sleep and you kind of like regenerate that life bar, and then throughout the day it gets dwindled down to where at the end of the day, smaller things make you snap on them a little bit sooner, even though it was like the same thing they've been doing before. Whereas I think when you have like the nugget, like your life bar is constantly just above zero. You know, it's never getting fully recharged. So I found myself snapping quicker on the other boys, even though the stuff they're doing is not particularly bad.
Right.
And that's something that I'm having a hard time with, but trying to recognize and not do as much. But it's just so hard because you go to your most, I would say, primal reaction. So for some people, that's like you go to immediately flipping on the TV. You go immediately to the easiest thing for you. So other people like me, it's you go directly to anger when it's not, when rationality should be have a step in there first. It's kind of like you go to the easiest course of action for you.
Yeah.
Because you end up with that low life bar more often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's something I'm finding out.
Yeah, I get irritated much more quickly.
Yeah. I like you mentioned though, I think having the schedule is going to be good for this next little bit, and I guess we'll update next week on how it's going. But we sat down and wrote a schedule out
After a vision board.
After our vision board adventure, we wrote like a real schedule, not like this is what one day is a schedule. Like I've asked Taz for this for a long time. Like, she's like, oh no, I scheduled it. I put it on the schedule. But it's like 1 hour amongst like all the other stuff that I have to do. And I'm like, just fit everything else in around this one thing that she had scheduled. And it's not her fault. But like, I feel like
we just had a lack of like communication on what a schedule needs to look like.
Right.
Like for you, it needs to be a very strict schedule. Whereas for me, it can be kind of loose because I'm going to get my stuff done regardless, but you aren't.
Right. So she's internally motivated and kind of has a sense of like where things fit in the day, and I don't. So I'm finding with even just like this couple days of this schedule, it's more like it's great. It's kind of refreshing. I mean, I haven't had like a real job in so long that's held me to certain hours that it's like. It's great to have the schedule because I can just be like, okay, my time for doing this is now. I have to do this now. Right. And it's detailed. You know, it's starting from when we wake up, like every 2 hours. We should probably share the schedule, like somehow screenshot it and look at what it looks like. Because I made fun of Ryan for having such a detailed schedule, but it kind of allows you to be a little bit more mindless in the sense of you do what you're doing in that time and you don't have to worry about when other stuff's happening. And as a guy who fights schedules, I think I'm now realizing with a little bit more clarity that I fight loose schedules. I fight a schedule that kind of like says you should figure out your time in this period of time. I'm much better off with like, this is your whole day. As long as in that day I see time that I have free. Like if I look at a schedule and it's like, and there's no me time, and that's me personally because like I'm a selfish... self-absorbed, egotistical maniac.
That was funny when we were doing it. Pat was like, every day he'd be like, the first thing we had to sort out was when he was going to have his free time.
Gotta have my free time.
It wasn't like when we're going to work or work out. When's my free time?
Gotta have my free time.
it's this like obsession of free time. But I think the whole scheduling thing is that like discipline is freedom, because you're more disciplined. You have to be.
Yeah.
And so you feel freer to just be.
Yeah, but I never understood that.
Right.
But I think like max discipline, like all the discipline versus like little discipline, and maybe that's different for other people. But like for you, you'd thrive in that.
Well, I still enjoy this though, because I love schedules. I love organizing, and I love everything being in like neat little rows. So it is very refreshing for my brain. Like I can function with like a half schedule, but this is definitely good for me too.
And we'll let you know how it goes. I mean, this is the first couple days of it, so it's been great for me so far. That being said, if you're out there trying to schedule, I would just suggest that if you have somebody who you're working with who's reluctant to schedule, tell them my story. And then also figure out if they need to make sure that in their schedule that you have for them, they have their kind of like free time. Because free time, it's not even free. It's like time to go surfing or time to go training if that's your passion. Time to put some like energy towards like a personal passion.
Yeah. Which I definitely am always lacking.
She's always lacking, but now she has it in there. She has that time in there, even though
we went shopping. I went shopping yesterday.
I went shopping yesterday during mine too. So, but it was still like it felt. I wasn't saying that. It was not that bad because like I knew that was my free time and I kind of like used it.
Right.
It was like, yeah, I'm doing this on my own time. You know, I'm shopping because I chose to shop, even though it was
just so you know, I wasn't free. I had the baby. Like my free time is like free if the baby is cooperating.
Yeah, but that's just because that's the nature of babies.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just like...
You made that decision. You dug your own grave.
Did I? I think we both did that. Hey.
It's true. We did both do that. But yeah.
But so I think basically, so it's necessary when you have 3 children to be a little bit more smarter with your time. Can't just kind of wake up and see where the day takes us. And like we've been kind of, like I said in that Instagram post, like we've kind of just been floating around like that. I mean, we've been making it work, but since that we came home in May last year. Yeah. And we've been like meaning to do stuff, and then we went away again, so we just didn't have the opportunity to. We did, excuses for sure, but we just never sat down and made it a priority to schedule things out. Yep. Maybe we were kind of like resistant, like we don't schedule. Like I mean, in that podcast with Sonia and Ryan, it's like, haha, you're scheduling free time for your kids. Like, was it unscheduled, scheduled time? Yeah. Scheduled, unscheduled.
Scheduled, unscheduled time.
Scheduled, unscheduled time.
Yeah.
But
no, scheduled, structured, unstructured time. That's what it was. Right.
But
they're so hyper scheduled that they structure out when there's unstructured time. And you can listen to the podcast. It's pretty fantastic. But like we go into it, she's like crazy A-type German alpha female awesomeness. She's fantastic, and Ryan is also awesome. But they have a good piece in there about the structured, unstructured time.
Yeah. So 3 kids. First thing you need to do is get on some sort of schedule. Mm-hmm. And I would say just like what I was saying before is that like you just have to succumb to it. Like I think if you fight. He's so smiley.
So smiley right now.
If you fight everything, like fight trying to have free time, and you know, I think that's when things can get like bad. Right. If you think it's going to be another way, then it is, and maybe that's why people who have 3, 4, 5 kids, they've kind of got it down by the 3rd kid, and they know what's going to happen.
You let it go. Yeah.
But I also think that some personalities are different. Like so for me, I think I could do a better job of still like doing my own thing. You know, there's always moments where if I want, like let's say for example at the beach, like if I wanted to go into the water and go for a swim with the boys and like, you know, be a part of that, I could. Yeah. But I'll be the one. I'm also happy to just sit on the beach and be with the baby and the little kids, and you know. But I think so. Part of me is like someone said the other day, "You're gonna have 4 kids," and my first reaction to I have 2 reasons for not wanting another kid. Yeah. One is like I don't think I can do another pregnancy. Another one is physically.
Yeah.
And another one is I feel like I'm missing out on like being active and and doing stuff with the older kids, like Oaks, you know. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, is that me? Like, could I make more effort to do that? Probably.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
Like, am I just using the baby as an excuse?
Yeah, I think you're using the baby as an excuse.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's just like it's hard. It's an effort to do it.
Yeah, it's a valid excuse, but it's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to, you could.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that's. I mean, I'm trying to make that my goal. Be more, like, just even if it's hard or if it's an effort.
Yeah.
Just be more active with. Specifically Oaks, because Arrow's still little, so he can just kind of potter around with me, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything with Arrow, you know?
Yeah.
But like seeing you guys going skiing and doing stuff like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
Can I come? That one's hard because
You really want to go skiing.
I want to go skiing, and Arrows can't really ski, and
No.
this one can't really ski.
Live. That one can't really live without you for more than an hour.
A couple hours, yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing, just to clarify on the structure of the day and the schedule, there's giant chunks of time, like, where it just says family time, and it's 4 hours. It's not like, within family time, first we're going here, then we're going here, then we're going here, then we're going here, like...
It's structured, unstructured time.
Well, kind of. It's like after 4 o'clock, it says, hey, we call it AHOD. All hands on deck. That's deck. Elongated. Just in the sense that, like, I know I need to be around and not fiddling with other stuff, and Taz knows she needs to be around, and she's
well,
always
I'm always going to be around, but it's more just like...
It's more to rain...
From 4:30 onwards, it is a much happier household if there's 2 adults to 3 children.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky that we can do that.
Yeah, super
because
lucky.
most households will, someone will still be at work till 6. So it's, usually the mum who's like got the 3 kids and trying to cook dinner, and I'm trying to make, cooking is a passion of mine, but in the last year and a half,
I've been doing all the cooking.
We literally been having the same meals like nearly every night. So I'm trying to meal plan again and make it something that I enjoy doing again, rather than just like, oh, we've got to eat. Okay, let's make some steak and vegetables,
Yeah.
Which is good, but...
Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's all we got. That's this week's update. What should we call this? Tea time?
Tea time?
With Pat and Taz? Weekly chat? Fireside chat? Oh, it's a fireside. We got a fire right behind us. Fireside chat. Weekly fireside chat with Pat and Taz.
There should be the fire in the film, I think.
Forged in the fire? Filmed in the fire. What was it? What'd you think? There should be a fire in the film. Yeah, but we'd have to move the chairs around. Fireside chat.